Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning again, my people, my winners, my champions. Good morning. It is another beautiful day, even though in some areas it's a bit cloudy and it's cold and it's supposed to be spring. And I don't feel like it's spring. It's sprinter because it's spring in the winter. It's sprinter because shit, it's still cold, but y'all want to call it spring, so we're gonna call it sprinter because it's spring in the winter out here right now. We had all that beautiful sunshine at 80 degrees, and now we're sitting there with a high of 60. And I'm cold, and I don't like the cold no more. I used to love the cold. I hate it now. How y'all doing today? It's a beautiful another Monday, meaning another beginning of the week. I know that may be not the day you want it to be, but we're gonna make it the day that it has to be, right? As y'all may know, I told y'all I was going to new platforms. Please follow, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's under the same name. Goddamn, it's Monday Podcast. Please, please do. I would greatly appreciate it. You know, I'm just trying to get a message out there. I actually like doing this stuff now, and I really just enjoy myself about it. You know, I like giving a message and being uplifting and putting myself out there where I'm vulnerable. You know, and today, I know y'all see in the topic title, who are you to judge? Today's objective of who are you to judge is we're going to talk about judgment and condemnation. See, a lot of people take judgment and condemnation and bunch them together. Judgment and condemnation, when folks say they're judging somebody, they're always saying judging as if there's a punishment or something involved. Judging is a natural human thing. And I'm going to break down what you really do when you judge and what you're supposed to not do when you judge. Okay? So, again, good morning. And I'm hoping that, all of y'all having a great day. So, let's get this thing started. Who are you to judge? The objective here is for folk to understand that judging is a natural human trait. When we see something, we observe something, and we give our opinion. That is a natural trait. That has been with us since the dawn of time, since the Oompa Boomba days, since we was clubbing women and taking them into the caves. You know what I'm saying? And the problem with today's society, we tend to put judgment in front of, we tend to put judgment in the area of, hey, stop judging me. You don't know what I'm capable of. You don't know what I can do. Yeah. But based on observation, I can and will give a free opinion about my judgment, about how I feel about something, or what I've observed. And we gonna start it off like this. We tend to do things from our experiences in life. And majority of those things are just a quick decision away. Bam, 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 bam. Real quick. Like most decisions we make are at the drop of a dime. We see something, we say something, we do something. Or if you're at the store, you see a nice pair of shoes, you automatically have in your mind that you want the shoes, but then you see the price and you're like, God damn, I don't want these shoes, it's too expensive. Or you see some piece of food or some articles of food or some articles that you like to read about. Instantly you're like, ooh, I want the recipe. Then it calls for seasons and shit that you ain't never heard of. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not going to try that. So we judge accordingly to what our experiences have taught us. You know? As a young kid, they say kids don't judge nobody because kids have no experience. Kids don't know what's going on. Same thing with teenagers. They tend to think they know what's going on, but they don't. And so they fall short. And see, some negative and some positive influences have occurred to affect our judgment on things. You know, it affects our observation on things. It affects how we see things. So let's just break down what does judgment or to judge mean. The definition of to judge is to form an opinion or conclusion about. Meaning that I form an idea or a conclusion about something that I've seen. Or in some cases, with today's culture, something that I have not seen or something that I don't understand. The definition alone does not give recourse for a punishment. It does not tell you what you need to be doing or how you need to be doing it or why you need to be doing it. It's just we observe something and say, I think this may work. Only if it affects you. When you are judging something, two things are going on. We see a behavior, for one. We observe a certain behavior. And once we observe the behavior, it clicks like, okay, I see what's going on. Then we see our application to the experience of said behavior if we are related to the experience at hand. If I sit up there and I see somebody cheating on somebody, and I know this person getting cheated on, oh, that dude's a cheater. I have formed an opinion and a conclusion. Boom. Now, what happens with judgment is when we tell somebody about that, hey, dude, why is you cheating on your girl? Man, you can't judge me. Only God can judge me. They're deflecting. Those people right there are deflecting. They are moving the goalposts. They're doing the best possible thing they can to not be called out. A lot of people don't like being supposedly told about themselves, meaning given constructive criticism. Meaning, if I see a situation and I see something about it, and from my experience, that's not going to work out well for you, I figured I should warn you, right? People assume that when you judge them, you are condemning their behavior. And half the time it's the delivery. Like, you say something to somebody and you tell them what you observed, and you tell them, I think this would be possibly the best route for you. Now, if you delivered it like that, like, hey, as your friend, as your confidant, as your bestie, this is what I need you to do in this situation because I see something that's not working out for you. In most cases, you'll be like, okay. But what happens is when we judge, we observe something, we straight cut to the point. And it makes people rude and defensive. Like, you know what you did was wrong. See, no. You tell somebody straight up what they know is wrong, they're not going to receive anything you're giving them. You have to understand that judging by its true definition is observation and solution based. You see something and you find a solution to the problem, if it's a problem at all. Sometimes it ain't a problem. Sometimes it's just something that you may not agree with, but it ain't a problem. Okay? So when we see something and when we observe something, we got to have the intel, and we got to be able to provide the intel properly about that situation or about that person, if possible. Now let's go on the other end. Let's talk about condemnation. All right? Condemnation comes in two forms. The first one is sentencing in the form of a punishment, meaning like you go to the court, sit in front of a judge, get found guilty of something, they condemn you to 30 days community service, This that definition where if you're wrong, you've got to face consequences of your wrongdoing. Now, we're not going to talk about that definition too much. We're going to talk about the second one. The second definition means deem unfit to use or try. Most people judge negatively because they see something that they feel that is unfit to them. And that's where the attitude and the snarkiness come from. Okay? We as humans tend to socially sentence somebody because their approach doesn't match ours. You know, we want to call out a behavior that we don't agree with and punish them until they convert or make a more suitable behavior. The bad part about that is half the time we judging these people about that or condemning these behaviors, all we have to do is just step back and let these people live. Because that's a part of judging too. So to understand that. You have to sit up there, and if you sit up there and you observe something that you need to keep your face out of, okay, I judge from this situation that this ain't my business. I judge from this situation that that's their business. I judge from this situation, I observe that it's behavior that I'm unfamiliar with and I don't need to be talking about it. Or I observe from this situation, and my opinion about this is beyond me. You know, I don't need to say anything about it. Okay? And we try to see the situation as unfit because it's not contingency to our version of normal. It doesn't meet society's norms. And see, the bad part about society is always changing. In the 90s, you couldn't do one thing that you could do now in these late 2000s, you know? Like, prime example. To my black people out there, you know, when we pull up to somebody's house during Christmas time, and they got the most beautiful, spectacular, awesome light display that you ever seen in your goddamn life, what do we tend to say in unison? Say it with me. We know damn well that light bill gonna be high as hell. Now that's judging. But guess what? Because we see a situation, we observe a situation, and from our relative actions, we know that light bill gonna be high. Now, we can sit up there and go further and continue to judge, but no. Thanks, cuz. We can go further and continue to judge, but why would I want to sit up there and go knock on these people though and say, could you unplug all these lights so your light bill don't be high? They probably already know their light bill gonna be high. So why is we messing with them? Another situation. Like, these are for my old school people. These kids, these men and these women and whatever, sagging. You got your pants past your ass and you're just walking. To us, that shit is weird. It is weird. And we were like, wow, nobody wants to see your drawers. Nobody wants to see your ass. But because of the cultural differences, all we can do is sit up there and say, okay, I don't agree with that. But I'm not going to go to that kid's face and say, hey, pull up your goddamn pants. Because why? Ain't my business. It's beyond me. I can still observe the behavior. I can report the behavior if I want to. Yeah, it's played out in tacky, but what can we do about it? Is we going to actually go put hands on these kids? Are we going to report these kids? No. No, we're not. No, we're not. Also, you know, with the kids vaping and smoking now. My job, I work with the public. So I see people in public. And I see kids knowing damn well they under the age of 21 vaping and smoking. And I observed the behavior. And I did it once. I'm like, hey, man, y'all wait till y'all get older to smoke that so y'all don't get no tickets or nothing, man. You know, that's the best solution, man. Man, mind your business, man. You don't know what I'm going through. I ain't saying I ain't know what you're going through. But you're going to go through more trouble if you get caught with that shit. You're going to sit up there and get tickets and shit. And then if you're 18, you really going to get in trouble because they can see you to the pokey overnight. Now you sitting up there in jail because you couldn't hold the urge to smoke. They do shit the right way, you know? And then I'm using the big example of all with judgment is with the LGBTQ community. Folk see that it's two extremes. There's actually three parts to this thing. It's folks who are extreme one way, extreme the other way, and the people in the middle who don't give a fuck. And, you know, excuse my language, but I'm being pretty crass today because we talk about judgment and condemnation. And people tend to condemn those who are part of the LGBTQ community. I don't condemn them or condone them. I respect them because they're human beings first. And see, what I judge from their situation is their feelings and their outlook on life is something that I don't understand. I may not agree with it full-heartedly. You know, I may not like seeing it, but I'm not going to waste my energy attacking it when I don't have to, because it's something that I don't understand. It's something that I cannot pick apart and say there's a solution for this. No. Just wish they find somebody that loves them, care for them, and respects them. Treat them as human as possible. Right? Now, here's another thing. And I'm going to say this as loud as I can. The biggest problem with judgment and judging things is that some people can't judge. They can't judge from a hole in the wall. They can't, they see a situation and they don't take in their own observation. They don't take in their own experiences, and they don't apply it naturally. They don't apply it naturally at all. And it sucks. It sucks for everybody. And the reason why these people who can't really judge, they're dangerous because they have a poisonous bias. A poisonous bias. And a poisonous bias is a toxic behavior where an individual doesn't care about the person in the situation. They only want to condemn it because they have the opportunity to. Let me say that again. Poisonous bias is a toxic behavior where an individual doesn't care about the person or situation. They only want to condemn it because they have the opportunity to. If they see that you're wrong, they want you to stay wrong. They're always the ones who are always finding something wrong with something and not offering a solution. They're always finding a problem with something and not offering a solution. They're always calling out the bad, but cannot find the good in the situation. They provide no true solutions. They see every particular situation from a person. They try to find the wrong in it. And they are blinding themselves to growth and observation. You know, you can't know how to judge accordingly if you keep saying the same shit to people all the time. Good morning, Danielle. How are you? Good morning, baby girl. And to my wifey, hello. The true premise of judgment is not to sentence anybody. The true premise of judgment is to see whether or not you can help. Let me say that again. The true premise of judging is to see whether or not you can help. You know, you can't sit up there and come up with concepts and ideas and be beneficial and be helpful and be all this other stuff you can be and not be solution based, not have a solution to the problem, if there is a problem. You know, true judgment breaks down like this. It comes to these ideas. One, you can help the person because you have some relation to the situation. Hey, I've been a drinker my whole life. I've quit drinking. I can help you quit drinking. That's what you can do. You can guide them to somebody with some experience in that field. You may not have no experience. I'm not a bad gambler. I'm not a compulsive gambler, so I can't tell nobody the ways and ideas to not gamble. Don't gamble. You don't need to gamble. You know, I gotta guide you to somebody. Hey, maybe you need to go to Gamblers Anonymous, or maybe you need to, find someone who can help you with this situation. Or my favorite, provide no input if not relatable. And I had to say it properly for my proper people. Provide no input if not relatable. If it doesn't relate to you, shoot. You don't have to add your input. People tend to put their minds on things that they don't understand. And sometimes it's a judge's situation and not even get involved. Like prime example, you see a random couple fighting and it's a man and a woman. Now, you done seen them the woman throwing haymakers and knocking the hell out the dude. You think you finna walk up there and say, hey, baby girl, don't hit the man. Stop hitting him. That's wrong. You don't want to go to jail, do you? As much as we would like to do that. No, we might get hit with a 2-piece. No. But sometimes the solution is often nothing. And people in today's culture would think that nothing cannot be a solution. No. Back in the hell away and just observing, okay. Now, if this gets out of hand, I would judge accordingly and see if other people going to get involved and make cause some pain. Like if she's beating up on that dude and all of a sudden she pulls out a gun, yeah, I'm going to yell, everybody, she got a gun. And we all going to run. We going to get on. We going to move like we need to move. We tend to let our experiences create an idea that causes us to impose ideas and not create avenues and solutions that are not beneficial for everyone. All right? When we judge, and we judge inappropriately, I don't like saying right or wrong because right or wrong is personal based. When we judge people, we impose ourselves upon them. We impose our ideas upon them. And when we start imposing, you got to follow this. You got to follow that. You got to be this way. You got to be that way. By you doing that, it minimizes any solution or any ideas that could be beneficial for everybody involved, everybody in the whole group. You know, it doesn't help when you're trying to impose your feelings on somebody. Yes, I observed a certain behavior. Yes, I judged it. But to sit up there and say my way is the right way about it, that's where judging gets its bad form. That's where folks get mad when you sit up there and say, stop judging me. Don't judge me. You're pushing me to the edge. You don't need to be judging me. That's the problem. We got to stop imposing our experiences on people. Because I can't walk a mile in your shoes and you can't walk a mile in mine. But what I can do is know that some of the steps we've taken, whatever, Regan, no, it's not your way or the highway, sir. Some of the steps we take may have a familiar path. And we can sit up there and share what we've done and be able to make it a relatable experience. Hey, I noticed you have a temper problem. I used to have one. I seek therapy. Here's my therapist. That's how you're supposed to judge accordingly. Because you just created an avenue for them. Okay, I might seek therapy. Is there any other option? Hey, you might go exercise. You might go do this. You have to be in a position to understand that we can't put ourselves onto people. We can't sit up there and see a situation and be like, I need you to handle it like I would handle it. No, hell no. No, that don't make no sense. Why would I want you to handle the situation that I would handle it and you ain't never walked a mile in my shoes? Just saying. To better ourselves with judging, we have to be better observers of character. Okay? Everybody says the phrase, best judge of character. This person is the best judge of character. We can see who has the best character. That's because we observe something in somebody that has good traits that we see, that we want to mimic, copy, or bring into our own fold. Somebody may have the kindest heart you ever seen. Be like, man, I may not be that kind, but I would like to take a little bit of that and add it to myself. You know, I like that. And then you judge that situation. You be like, okay, by what they're doing, what can I do to make this better for myself? What can I do to make my character better? What can I do to enhance myself? What can I do to look at everything and be able to judge accordingly and peacefully as possible? Right? We have to see the entire picture when we assume or judge anything. Because half the time, when we judge something in today's culture, it's always half-assed. Always half-assed. And we can't have a half-assed ideology or a half-assed culture. We can't have a half-assed judgment of anybody. If I don't know the whole picture or scenario, what am I observing you for? If I don't know what's going on with you, what am I telling you what you need to do with your life? That's a waste of energy. You got to remember also opinions. Our thoughts are powerful tools if said ideally. Real talk. I can tell you what I think and what I feel about something without imposing my will upon you. Without saying, you have to side with me. And so you can't just say what's on your mind and it's not constructive. Because I believe, and this is just me, I believe human beings are constructive creatures, meaning they can be built and rebuilt and built and rebuilt. Because you go through a process in life, it's breaking you down. Then you build it back up. It's breaking you down. You build it back up. You know, you always are adapting and reformatting and changing and switching shit around as you get older. I'm almost 40. The guy that I was 20 years ago is not that guy no more. There are certain things I can tolerate. There are certain people I can talk to. There are certain things I wouldn't mind talking about. And there are certain things I don't like talking about. I realize that I am slowly becoming an introvert. I don't want to be around people all the time. When I was younger, oh yes, let's go party, talk to everybody. Woohoo. Now, I sit in the crowd too long. Oh no, this is too much for me. Nah, I'm good. No. I say I give it about a good hour and a half, and I'm ready to go. Because it's too many people. Back then, I used to be able to do it. I used to be able to hang in there. Now, Next part. Where does proper or improper judgment take you? Where does the idea of judgment take you? You know? We always want to be in the driver's seat of somebody else's life. Ooh. We always want to be in the driver's seat of someone else's life. We want to be able to direct them and turn them. Now, the crazy part about it, we want to do that for everybody else's life, but we don't want anybody to do that to our life. You know, letting somebody else take over would be ideal for some people. And some people actually believe that they have some authority to do it. You know, some people believe that they can sit up there and pick and point out unfit actions and tell them whether it's right or wrong. And that is not how we judge. I'm not going to sit up there and pick out all your flaws and say these flaws here will make you a terrible person. These flaws here will make you weak. These flaws here will make you a bad person. No. People need to understand that right or wrong comes from experience and what the collective group believes. Prime example. People used to judge black slaves. We was dumb, ignorant, and they even had a disease, a damn disease for us when we wanted to run off the plantation. And this shit was medically documented. So when we say back then, that was right. That was right back then. We look back at it now, hell no, that shit was wrong. It was all the way wrong. And that made black slaves suffer. But judging on that situation now, with the judgment as I have now, that was wrong. How did I came to that conclusion that was wrong? Because society decided that was wrong. Somebody stood up and said, hey, we have a right to live too. We have a right to have a life. We have a right to live. And then, another example. People judge folk when they past mistakes and continue to punish them. You make a mistake 10, 15 years ago, and they ain't forgave you for it. And we ain't talking about no betrayal or anything. Just a simple human mistake. They still judging you. Oh, that bitch ain't shit. She did this to me when we was in high school. Really? How old are you now? I'm 42. Wait, hold on. You still ain't let go of this bullshit that from all them years ago because that girl did something simple to you? She took your little boyfriend or something and you just gonna say, oh, well, she a hoe. She been a hoe her whole life. How you know that? You ain't been around the girl since you fell off with us in high school. So we can't sit up there and have this elitist idea of what is right and wrong with judging. No, we have to look and come up with a solution. Now, we all know the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? Now, sometimes judging with the best intentions can take you to places and thoughts that may not be necessary. You don't have to sit up there and go to this place at all. You know, when it's come to judging, we have to ensure that what we think, what we want to say about someone or something can be constructive. Can they build off what I'm saying? If what I'm telling you can't make you think about, okay, how can I do this? What can I do about this? If it's not doing any of that, shut up. If you can't sit up there and observe a behavior and come up with a solution that's helpful or beneficial to the behavior, shut up. Shut up. Because judgment without constructive criticism or constructive observation is gossip. And I talked about gossip last week. You know? And when I talked about gossip, I was saying that there's good gossip and there's bad gossip. And bad gossip is judgment without constructive criticism. What up, E-Rail? Judgment without constructive criticism leads to a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff. A bunch of unnecessary bull. And what you don't want is a lot of unnecessary in your life. We also got to understand that condemnation without grace is bias, is bad. We have to sit up there and once these people have served their sentence or did they due diligence or, lack of a better word, suffered, we have to sit up there and say, hey, we're going to see what you finna do now. That is grace. That is simple grace. Looking at you, seeing what you finna do now. Not saying anything about it. Now, pushing an objective about it, but it's, hey, let's see what you do now. You fucked up already. But let's see what you finna do now. Don't sit up there and wait for the bad or the good. Grace is literally just saying, what can we see you do now? What's next? What are you doing next? What is your next step? That's it. I don't care if it's in the left direction or in the right direction, but I'm giving you that space and opportunity to redeem yourself or to create a said behavior that's beneficial to you in the environment or the situation that surrounds you. That's it. We also can't avoid condemning people's actions, but what we can do is get in a mindset of understanding that we gotta create nuances to minimize condemnation. For one, we gotta avoid the observations to always find the fault. Tell you right now, I was real bad at that. With my kids and everything, I was real bad at that. Oh, what that little badass gonna do next? Or what this person gonna do next? Or what my son finna talk about now? Why is he talking to his teacher like that? I always assumed, and because what I've observed, I always observed what the fault was gonna be. Never gave them the chance to show that they learned something from the last situation. But I was on the edge of my seat, waiting for my children to mess up, you know? And now I don't. And I have to stop creating this opinion about kids and people that I'm already looking forward to the bad in you. No. I got to sit up there and just step back and let grace take over. And that means, what are you going to do next? Let me see. Or what you about to do next going to be beneficial and helpful? I hope so. Hey, Shamika. The thoughts and energy it takes to condemn people for a long time is a waste of time. And we as individuals don't have much time on this planet. And it's funny because we be like, oh, when you make it to 50, you are halfway there. No, you're not. Rule change. Most of us live to 70 or 80. We don't live to 100. All of us don't live to 100. So we don't sit up there and say 50 is the halfway point. So as men, most men live to 70, 75. So when you're 35, you're halfway there. To my women folk who live a little longer, when you're 40, you're halfway there. So in that time frame, we got to make sure that we're not wasting time constantly judging people in the form of negative energy. If I observe a situation, if I'm judging a situation, and I see what's going on, and three things occur: either I know what's going on, I can lead you to what's going on, or I don't know what's going on, and I need to shut the hell up. Those are the three options to judging. Judging properly, and see, like I said, I don't like saying right or wrong, but because proper, when you do something proper, you do what benefits to you and the group involved, right? Judging properly can be a good incentive and take you to places that reap the benefits of good-natured opinions. Good-natured opinions. If someone gives you an opinion that's great advice, you're gonna take it, right? And you're gonna be like, man, I need to come to you for better advice. These opinions can create a better system to judge someone with the help needed or info gained. If you're telling me something and I don't know nothing about it, and we have a good, mature relationship to where I'm not saying what you're doing is right or wrong. If I sit up there and I go out there and I try to find the resources to help you, that same energy is going to be given to you to go do it for somebody else. Because human beings, like I said last week, we're reflective creatures. If you see me doing something, you're going to want to do the same thing. If you see me sitting up there giving good advice, and you want to do the same thing too. You know, you judge, observe, somebody's telling you what's going on in their life. Hey, this is what you can do, yada, yada, yada. And then they be like, okay, well, then that same energy is passed to them. So when somebody asks somebody what's going on in their life, well, yada, yada, blah, 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 this is what's going on, do. You know? And so judges can make you either a saint or a devil. It can make you a saint or a devil. You can be beautiful and folk can love you all day. Or folks gonna want to knock your teeth out because you just don't know when to shut up. And that's from my earlier paragraph when I said those who can't judge. You're not judging correctly. If somebody want to beat your ass on sight because of something you said, it's how you said it, and it was empty. It provided no help. And like I was talking about last week about gossip, you got to be careful because the wrong gossip, you can end up with a two-piece. Sometimes some folk may deserve a two-piece, but judging on the situation and giving your opinion about a situation that's not giving an unhealthy opinion about a situation. Let me rephrase that. An unhealthy opinion can get you a two-piece. Now, when you are observing behaviors and judging, be careful of saying anything that's unfamiliar to you. Hell, if you don't know, you don't know. You really don't. And it doesn't have to be full of such urgency that you have to get your opinion across. It doesn't have to be such full of energy that you have to get this said. You have to get this out. No, it don't. Just step on back. You know, you need to readjust things and being able to judge accordingly judge properly. You need to be able to gain hindsight of, if this were me, could I be able to handle this situation? And if the answer is no, you don't need to be judging. You don't. Your opinion is not needed in this situation if you can't handle what they're doing. Okay. Now y'all know I do my thing: persons, places, things. I went persons, human experience, places. Where does judgment take you? And now we're at the things. What can you do about judging and condemning? Number one, use your experience to see if you can give an opinion about the person or situation. Can you do that? Can you sit up there and see this person and they're going through this stuff? And can you be relative to the experience to help them? If so, yes. Judge accordingly, watch what you say, and make sure you deliver it in a constructive manner that's helpful. Number two, decide whether whatever info you have on the situation can benefit everyone involved. 3, give grace more than punishment. Don't sit up there and just quickly say, hey, you're wrong. You don't need to be doing that. You're wrong. Give folk an opportunity to redeem themselves if they fail. Some situations may call for more grace than swift punishment. You don't have to sit up there and ideally say, I don't like this. And anybody who doesn't is wrong or evil. No. You're punishing them. You're already saying that they're bad people. No. Grace. What's next? That's what grace is. What are you doing next? What is your next move? I just want to sit and see your next move. That's it. Watch what you say around people. Sometimes the gentlest words can provoke the wrong people. Sometimes how you give constructive criticism can piss a person off. That's what judging this situation does too. If I sit up there and I look at a person and I see that they're doing something, but then I know that they're a little arrogant, a little rude, a little over the top, I need to not say anything. I need to back away. Now, while you judging, which is the next step, while you judging, be prepared to be judged yourself. Folk looking at you too. You can't sit up there and say, oh, well, I think this, and think you're not going to be affected. Folks are going to come back around and judge you too. Well, I think he, yada, yada, such and such. I think he's going to do, and do this and do that, and all the other stuff. Be prepared for if their words or opinions are helpful to you. Because somebody might say something to you, it may make you mad, but then after you go back and think about it, like, oh, shit, that's some real stuff right there. That's some shink that ain't. That's a little dirt thunder. Yeah, I can deal with that. And if they're giving you an opinion, disregard anything they say that doesn't add to your growth. If they saying, oh man, you just wrong. All right, well, can you give me a solution? Nah, man, you know what you need to do. Oh, okay, well, your opinion is no longer needed here, right? Minimize your involvement with people if all they do is critique but don't uplift. In other words, they always saying what they doing and what they doing is bad, and they not telling you how they can make it better. If y'all sit up there and say, she stank, she this, she that, he this, he that. If that's all you doing, minimize your involvement with the people. You ain't gotta hang around with all that because it's gonna roll off on you, and you're gonna condemn people on their flaws, only on their flaws. Final one. Deliver your opinions as if you wanted them delivered to you. If you sit up there and you're telling somebody how you feel about something and it's relatable, don't attack them. Don't. Give them the same energy you will want in return. If somebody sees me doing something out of line, I would like to be pulled to the side, talked to peacefully. So that's what I'm gonna do to them. Hey, I've seen you did this. Is everything all right? There's nothing out of line going on with you, is it? And I'm not going to share this information with anybody else, but what's going on? Can I help? They say something I can help with. Hey, I got the exact thing for you. You can do this, you can do that, yada yada yada, and just talk it up and just go along with the flow. Because once you give that energy, it comes back to you. It goes back and forth, and folk can grow, right? And so, at the end of the day, we have to understand that judgment is human nature. Condemnation is not. Condemnation comes from the negative side of human nature. And we tend to pull from that now in today's culture in anything. And we have to understand that we have to stop doing that. We have to start pulling the good from society. We do. We have to start pulling the greatness of society. We have to start pulling the things that are top notch in society. Because we all winners, baby. If we heal, we breathe, and we all winners. So, in conclusion, we are all judges. We have the ability to observe and form opinions and say things about people. The catch is, we always focus and create a negative narrative about it. The moment we decide to be able to judge without harm, we could be better people. At the end of the day, that's the goal. We want to be better people. And the best way to be better people is to look out for one another. Like I said before, my slogan for this show is, how can we learn from each other if we don't learn from each other? And that means judge. We have to be able to judge a situation, or judge a person accordingly. I know it sounds weird. When you talking about judging people, that's weird. No, you can judge people. You just can't condemn them. You don't have the power to condemn anybody. You have the power to look, observe, form an opinion, and share that opinion if necessary. That's what judging is. Look, form, conclude, share if optional. If I see something going on, if I see somebody stealing, I'm going to say, oh, that's a thief. I'm judging, that's a thief. Condemning is saying that thief's going to burn in hell. That's condemning. But if I see somebody's doing something and the action is there, and I observe the action, and then from there I decide to use my experience to either intervene, step back, or guide them to somebody who can help them. That's where the information works. That's how it works. That's how it builds up. So at the end of the day, you want to be able to do things that makes everyone better. You want to do things that encourage people. You want to do things that uplift people. You want to do things that put people in a positive light. Because what we don't understand is the more we build with each other, the better we grow. The more we fulfill each other, the better we become. Because in today's culture, man, we can be the best versions of ourselves all the time. Sure, it's a rough patch. It takes adaptability. It takes change. And half the time we don't like it. But it's there. We have to do it if we want to be better. I don't know about you, but I want to be better than I was yesterday. And I want to be better tomorrow. So, I hope that today you learned that some of our little human nuances have good sides. You hear the word judge. I hope that you look at it now from an objective point. You know, I hope that you have a total understanding that most of our traits we have good qualities. All right. Thanks for coming out again, you guys. Thanks to my baby girl, E-Rail, Travis, Jap, Shamika, all y'all that chimed in. I appreciate y'all. I got a doozy for y'all next week. I'm going to post up the topic for next week. I hope y'all enjoy y'all week. And please, judge accordingly. This is Stephen Martin, a.k.a. Mr. High Fives and Good Vibes. And this is another episode of Goddamn Money is Talking.